Hey, yeah, so obviously, this is going to be a review of the series, so spoilers ahead. If you don't want any spoilers, don't watch this. Watch the anime first, and then you can watch this. But yeah, spoilers ahead. So it's been a while since I watched anime seriously. By seriously, I mean finishing 3 12-episode series in a day. My sister is learning Japanese from me, and I have her watch Animax and pick up words to increase her listening and discerning words from sentences. One series that has been playing in Animax is Otome Game no Hametsu Flag, shikanai Akuyaku Reijou ni Tensei shiteshimatta. Or My Next Life as a Villainess. All routes lead to doom. So yeah, I've only seen a few clips, like a chunk of episode 11 and a few chunks of the early episodes as it played on the TV. It was really interesting, so I decided to watch the whole season because I kind of knew how it ended, but I didn't know how it started, and I didn't really full understood what happened in the ending. I rated this a 6 out of 10. The main reason it's high is because it's a new twist to an isekai anime. It's fresh. Although if that were not considered, I think cause
Get your shit together! Get it all together and put it in a backpack! All your shit! So it's together!
it's an isekai anime, but it's a dating. Oh my god, that neighbor fucking shit. So it's an isekai anime, but it's not the usual kind of isekai anime. If it were one of those, I think it would be a 5 out of 5. It's cute, but that's all there is to it. It's like one of the normal series that comes out. There's always a few of those in a season. So it's a cute series, good for kids. It barely has any 16 rated scenes, but I guess if you're Asian, don't watch episode 8 with your parents around. It doesn't have nude scenes or anything. Just lots of almost kiss scenes that really strict parents might not like. But generally, it is a family anime. So personally, I like it. It's a new kind of isekai genre. Usually, like Shield Hero, No Game No Life, or Sword Art Online, they tend to be action heavy with lots of fighting scenes. They usually are put into an MMORPG kind of game, lots of adventure, fighting, but this one is not. She is reincarnated in a dating simulation, which is new, at least, I think. I think this is the first one I've seen with this kind of concept. Correct me if I'm wrong. I love how charismatic. I hate how... Yeah, I'm jealous, I think. Because she is so charismatic. She is that type so charismatic that people naturally deviate to her. Like, being nice and saving people can only get you so far. But you have to have some level of charisma to keep them liking you or keep them wanting to wanting to be around you, probably. I don't have that, so I don't know. So that's a big plus for her, but I guess that's a natural for protagonists. She's also so simple-minded that in her mind there's only 2 routes, whether she gets banished or she gets killed, and she makes preparations for those, which is really cute how she prepares for those. She builds the foundation of her success in the ending, and she doesn't even realize it. It's kind of sad that if she had not remembered her past life, she wasn't going to be a nicer person because her parents were really nice. So you would think that environmental factors and genetic factor wise, she has all the things to be a nice person because her parents were nice and she probably was brought up in a nice home. Like, for example, They adopted a child that was ostracized by his own family and the society because of an accident he'd had no control over, which should we talk about later? Despite what he did by accident, they still adopted him and treated him like their own child. He wasn't used in a political way in any way like Anne was. He was bullied by Katarina and her mom in the original game. He was bullied by Katarina because they thought he was the illegitimate child of their father, which for some reason that problem was resolved when Katarina got her memories back from her past lives, but it wasn't resolved in the game because they continued to bully him because they thought he was an illegitimate child of the father. So anyway, also they employed Anne, just that.
I think her brain stopped for a second.
Now, why would nobility employ someone who doesn't have experience working, right? If you're rich, like you have options on which maids to get, you would prefer someone who knows exactly what they're doing instead of a girl who was previously from a noble family who probably don't know anything about keeping the house or tending to children. So probably, I don't know for sure, they employed her because they knew she wouldn't have anywhere to go because she was disowned, right? And they would have access to that knowledge because I think Anne's father and Katarina's father is in the same career because there's also that scene after Katarina protects Anne. Also, when child Katarina was backing up Anne, when Anne's father was trying to marry her off against her will, Katarina's father backed her up. That was such a cool moment. I almost wish I had a dad. I'm just kidding. Also, please tell me Prince Gerald also reminds you of Usui from Kaicho wa Maid-sama? Because it does. He does. Anyway, I don't have much problems with the characters in the main group friend. I guess Sirius Deke was a bit of a stretch, like his arc was a bit of a stretch. Like, why would dating simulators have that big of a plot twist? I don't know because I don't play dating sims, so if you do play them, enlighten me if I'm wrong. If not, hype me up. But like, how was he mad at Katarina for saving her friend back in their childhood? How would he know their past when he wasn't even in them? It doesn't seem like that's something that even in their teens they would keep on talking about. They put so much foreshadowing that Sirius Deke is the mastermind or the villain that they forgot to put out why Sirius would hate Kat in the first place. They didn't put the foundation of why Sirius would hate Kat. At least in my opinion, maybe I missed something, you know? Maybe hatred for nobility because of what happened to him, but that doesn't seem like the case. What do you think? The thing that bothers me is the way they handled the two worlds is really weird. Like, it's really messy to me. I think of it like parallel universes because Katarina's new world is less technologically developed than her previous life. Because in previous life, it's like this real world. And then she was reincarnated in a world where there weren't even cell phones or cars because they had carriages, right? And also because Sophia or Atchang is already reincarnated there, even though she isn't dead yet in the first world. So, like, what? That's confusing. Why would Atchang be there if she wasn't dead yet in the first world, in the first universe. Does not make sense. So, anyway, according to Katarina, she was reincarnated, right? So there should be one timeline, but there isn't. And anything that happened with her that was associated with her past life was through her dreams and like recollections of her past, and in those chibi moments where she talked with herself. But her best friend from her past life, Achang, or in the new world, Sophia Ascart, for some reason, her past life comes to her like a ghost. Like what? So she has an Aang type power where she can talk to her past lives? Is that it? Why doesn't Katarina have that? Why? She doesn't even have like a more special magic like dark or light. She has wind, and that doesn't seem like, oh, she has wind. She is Aang. She is Aang. Oh my god, that makes so much sense now. I'm kidding. Anyway, so in episode 11, which episode 11 is really the episode where everything crumbles down for me. After she was put in a Sleeping Beauty Snow White style sleep, she was sent back to her past life? Or was she dreaming of her past life? Right? This was really confusing to me, because if she were sent back to her past life, first of all, she died in her past life, so maybe the Dark Magician,
I'm a blue-eyed white dragon while you're just Dark Magician.
actually was powerful enough to erase the part where she died. But like, if you were strong enough to do that, if you were strong enough to erase that part in a parallel universe, why would he not have revived himself instead? And maybe help Ralph Walt revive his mom? Or even remove the curse, remove Sirius Deek's chronic illness? Like, what the fuck? What is happening? So it's really weird if she were sent back to her past life, and this wasn't really like explained. If it were a dream, why would Chang's actions cause anything to change? It's not really the scope of magic where Chang comes to Sophia as a ghost, showing up to her as a reflection on the window, telling her to go to Katarina's side and be with her so she can save her. It does not make sense. Also, Chang doesn't have that kind of power to do that. Maybe she was spiritually elevated, like Aang? But like, I don't know, because they didn't explain it. Sophia's magic is air, not light, so it doesn't tie together, at least in my opinion. So if it were a dream, that shouldn't be the saving action for Katarina, I think. What do you guys think? If anything, Maria's powers should have been her saving grace. Like how that light thing that caused them to want to be with Katarina. Or it should have been Katarina's realization in her own accord, not the willpower of someone who is alive in two worlds. Hold on. Right? Because that's weird. Even if I don't know, I'm trying to understand this, but it does not make sense to me. Yeah. And all this really bugs me. It really bugs me. After episode, in the ending of
Dumbass piece of shit.
in the ending of episode 10 and the whole of episode 11, it really does not make sense at all to me, and it really bugs me. Probably because, I look into this shit too much. Like, I look into pacing. Oh, and the transitions are weird. Like, one moment she's talking with Gerald and the next minute she's dreaming? What? Like, The transitions are weird. But yeah, it's a good beginner anime for children or trying to watch anime without headphones. So, yeah, I guess that's it for me. I have some questions for you. If you were reincarnated in an anime or manga or gaming world, which would you pick and which character? So how about in Cat's world, if you were to be reincarnated there, which character would you be? Personally, I think I want to be Sophia Asgard because even though she doesn't make sense in general, one, I like her appearance. I like how she looks good with like white hair and red eyes. I think it's really beautiful. And she's a weeb. So am I. So now the most important question is, in this anime, who would be your husbando in this anime? For me, it definitely would be Gerald. Those are my type, like Usui type. But if I could pick and choose more specifically, Gerald's personality or attitude or Gerald's innards, what? With Nicole Asgard's appearance. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So answer me down in the comments and like and subscribe if you like this. Okay, goodbye, Bukuchiko!